We need to pray to God and say, God, clear the path. Enlighten me. Show me what to do. Pray for that, and God will grant us that gift, Bezrat Hashem. When it comes to the building and the dedicating of the Mishkan, it's very important that we have the timeline clear. And it is as follows. Moses comes down, the Jewish people are finally forgiven for the sin of the golden calf. And Moses comes down on the 10th of Tishrei, which nowadays we know as being Yom Kippur. And he comes down with the second tablets. The following day, on Yud Aleph, the 11th of Tishrei, God commands Moses to start the construction of the Mishkan. It took 2 days, that would be the 12th and the 13th of Tishrei, for Moshe Rabbeinu to receive all the collections for the donations of the Mishkan from the Jewish people. Look at that, 2 days, and it was the first and only time that someone had to say, stop donating, we have enough. Okay? The first and only time, I say. Following that, they start the construction of the Mishkan, putting all the building together. We said a couple weeks ago, the Zera Shimshon taught us that was precisely exactly 72 days that they put the Mishkan together, taking them all the way till the 25th of Kislev. Okay? 25th of Kislev, all of the raw material was already prepared and ready to just be assembled, and they waited. They waited till its inauguration date. Its inauguration date was to be on the 1st of Nisan. Prior to that inauguration date, there was 7 days of inauguration service. And that was that God told Moshe Rabbeinu to do all of the service in the Mishkan as it will be performed by his brother Aaron and his children forevermore. But he, Moses, even though he was not a Kohen, he was a Levi. He was to do exactly what Aharon and his children would be doing in order to show them and demonstrate exactly what they should do. That was from the 23rd of Adar until the 29th of Adar. The following day, the 1st of Nisan, was the inauguration of the Mishkan, and then 12 days of giving the opportunity to each leader of each tribe, each Nasi, each prince, to have its day of servicing and doing the service in the Mishkan as an honor to them. So that was the first day of Nisan all the way till the 12th day of Nisan. Now why am I going through this? Because today we just finished the 5th day of Nisan and we're moving on to the 6th. If we realize the end of our prayers every morning, we are adding a supplementary part that is specific to the Nasi, that prince that was at that day that he was doing the korbanot. Every single day we added in. Today we added in the 5th. Tomorrow we're going to add in the 6th. So that's each and every one had their time of honor as being the prince of their own tribe and giving an honor to their tribe. King David, the Zera Shimshon brings down the Midrash, desired to give a sacrifice as an inaugurational sacrifice just as each of the princes did. He was envious to do so. He said, the same way that the princes of each tribe were able to give their special sacrifice, King David wanted to give his own as well. That's what the Midrash says. So the Zera Shimshon, he wonders, why was David so desiring and envious to give a sacrifice just as the princes did when they inaugurated the Mishkan? They did what they did on behalf of the Jewish people. Even in the time of David, even though there wasn't the temple, but there was the Mishkan Shiloh, and they were doing sacrifices over there. But no, he wanted to give an inaugurational sacrifice. The Zera Shimshon wonders why, what was so important. So he brings the Talmud in Masechet Sotah. Talmud says something very interesting. It says that there are only two people who their handiwork, their construction, could never be destroyed because of their holiness and their importance. The only two people the Talmud tells us is, number one being Moses, number two being David, Moshe Rabbeinu, and David HaMelech. He says, because of their connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because of their importance, because of their stature, because of their holiness, anything that they would build, their handiwork, could never be destroyed. And as such, let's analyze. Moses was not let into the land of Israel because of doubt that he would be the one who would build the temple, and God would not be able to destroy the temple, rather destroy the Jewish people. What did Moses build? He built the Mishkan. He built this tabernacle. Was the Mishkan ever destroyed? Never. It was buried in the desert. Something that was built by either Moses or David could never be destroyed. King David also desired and really wanted to build this temple, the Bet HaMikdash. The Talmud gives all types of reasons. His hands were soiled in blood and war, and it wasn't befitting for him to build the temple. We'll have his son Solomon do so. And King Solomon did build the first temple. However, what did David want? David knew. He wanted to build that temple, and he wanted to bring that inaugural sacrifice once and for all. Because he knew that if he would be the one to build the temple, and he would be the one to bring that inaugural sacrifice, there would never be a destruction of the temple. That's what he wanted. God had other plans, as we know. He did not let David or Moses build a temple. He actually God wanted the temple to be destroyed. Unfortunately, yet fortunately, as we've explained. So this way he wouldn't have to destroy the Jewish people, rather destroy the stones and the structure. But David wanted to bring the coming of the Mashiach. He wanted an eternal building, the building of this Bet HaMikdash. So when the Midrash, the Zera Shimshon says that David was so envious and he was desiring to bring an inaugurational sacrifice, it wasn't only the sacrifice he wanted to do. He wanted to build the Bet HaMikdash. He wanted to institute it. He wanted to get it running, and therefore it would never be destroyed along with its first sacrifice, just as the princes years before brought their first sacrifice in the Mishkan. This is from Zera Shimshon, specifying why David was envious. And in life, sometimes we want certain things. We think that it might be for the best. We're envious, we're desiring, we want, we have to try, we have to push. David never gave up. Moses never gave up until God told him to stop praying to get into the land of Israel. We have to do our part, we have to try as much as we can. We have to do our hishtadlut, put in our efforts, but understand that once we put it in the hands of God, and let God be the one who decides, that everything